First thing I saw was Daniel Rebane. Daniel, you have the floor.
How you doing, Coach? Obviously, tough result. This might feel like rock bottom for you and the players in the locker room. Just talk about how you kind of get back up from this result and finish off the season strong.
Yeah, I would say, and I said this in the locker room, and I agree, a tough result, especially then after 7-8 minutes with these individual mistakes, and then we came back, and then directly after we scored, and we conceded directly with 10 players, then the third goal, and was tough game today, and I think now it's a good point that we have the next game in 4 days and not to wait for 7 or 8 days, and this is what we have to analyze tomorrow. The situation, not the game, to be honest, because this was a lot of individual mistakes. The situation, how we can solve our situation, and then to give the reaction then on the field on Wednesday in Toronto.
Next, go to Michael.
Coach, two things.
Yeah.
With this team, you constantly employ a 4-4-2. You've been doing it for months, and with how the results have been going, I'm just curious if there's been any talk about changing out of the 4-4-2, which is kind of playing as like a 4-2-2-2. With how many injuries there were tonight, was there any talk about changing that? Secondly, in the supporters section, around the 65th minute, they started to raise a banner saying, "Not good enough." I'm just wondering if that's something that you are going to emphasize with or take going into locker room, going into the next game.
For sure, we are all the supporters, the whole club, from me as a head coach, the whole team. We are very disappointed for sure about the result, about the mistakes, about the behavior, because it's a derby, and then when we lost 5-1, then for sure we are very angry about that. But in my opinion, and this is also very clear, it's not a topic about the structure or something like that. So when you make these mistakes, then you can play with 3 center backs, you can play with diamond or something like that. So it's not the kind of structure what we see, and this is true. What we see that we didn't get the results so the last weeks, and you see then also the result when you concede against a very good team today after 7 minutes, 2 goals, and this was. The reaction after that was good, but then with the third goal which we conceded was not good enough, and for sure we are very disappointed, and I can also understand the supporters, but, and it's also very important, we lost today a big game, for sure, a big game and a derby, but we didn't lose the whole season or something like that. This is also very important for the whole club and also for us as a team and also for the supporter.
Next, go to Anthony.
Coach, what do you contribute the lack of concentration on the early first 2 goals to, considering it seemed like there were some mistakes in passing and kind of just overall concentration?
Yeah. This is I'm not sure if it's concentration or something. So this is a wrong decision in that moment, in this decision, our build-up, or after the set pieces, then we play backwards. Then in these moments, but. I don't want to talk now about single players or something like that. So this is what we have to react now, our reaction with the whole team. And this is important now. And we have the chance, and this is, I know, and today it's not now the best day to give directly the answer then. So what we have to do is the answer to give on Wednesday in the game in Toronto. And for sure, this was big mistakes, but at the end, the whole team. So this is what we have to do better than for Wednesday, and not only to think about now, okay, for Carlos or something like that. And Danny, he showed the last week's very good performance, especially the last week against the home game against Atlanta. Carlos made very good games for us, for the club, for the whole team. So today was not the best day, and this was. And this is what I said, for sure it's very angry, very disappointed for all of us, for Carlos, for Daniel, for all these guys in the locker room. But this is what we have to handle it, and what I said is, and I feel this. I feel it for sure. That is a tough result. It's not the best feeling today for sure. So, but we lost a big game in our stadium. So, but we didn't lose the whole season or something like that.
Next, go to Joe.
Sandro, what have you seen from Emil Forsberg in the last 36 hours to come to the decision to have him come off the bench tonight.
Yeah, and this is the plan. This was the plan also, that he's able to play today 25-30 minutes, and yeah, you can see in these moments, especially in our offense, that he's able with his quality to play the final pass, and he had a lot of good moments, and it's also not so easy then to come after 4-1 to come in and after this long-term injury, but this is the quality which we need then also, and also this behavior as a leadership.
Next we go to Voss.
Thank you for the time, Coach. Tough result today. Just wanted to ask you on not just the goals early on, because we could chalk it up to mistakes, but the tactical approach of NYCFC. Did that maybe surprise your side that they were so aggressive, really trying to almost play the Red Bull style of play with attacking the back line?
Yeah. It seems then. It's for sure. It seems when you scored after 7 minutes, for sure. Then the New York City, they have done the self-confidence and with these moments, and they have the game then on their side. But at the end, it's they pressed in 4-4-2. Then also sometimes with the winger players, Wolf in a higher position. They did it also in the last games, to be honest, but we didn't find our solutions, and especially then after 7-8 minutes, these mistakes, then you lose the self-confidence for sure in this big game with the young group, and this is what we have to improve for sure then also for Wednesday.
Next we go to John.
Sandro, 2 questions. First of all, I don't know if it was discussed during the week, but a win tonight would have clinched a playoff spot. Do you feel like that maybe there was a little bit of pressure, the players were feeling it coming out, and that contributed to the poor start? And also you talked about obviously the anger and how you feel after a result like this. Do you feel like you can use that as fuel going into these next 2 road matches starting on Wednesday against Toronto?
Yeah, for the second question, the answer, this is what we have to do then, to show the reaction then, our behavior then, also to play very clear, very clean in some moments without risk. And the first question is, it seems, to be honest, it seems a little bit that we have this situation now for qualification, the playoffs, and to make these last step now. And this is in these moments, it's very difficult for us to make this last step, this big step. And we had today, for sure, a big opportunity to make this big step. But this is what we have to handle it now for this week. And on Wednesday is the next game. To have this focus, this is very important.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more coaches. Coach, first we'll go to Eric, and then we'll finish up with JJ.
Hey, Sandro. So obviously the first 2 goals kind of set the stage for the game. So I don't want to focus too much on this game because I feel like it kind of is in the rearview mirror for you. But the form overall since going back to July, the 3-1 win in Cincinnati, you haven't won since there. And it seems the team has kind of regressed and it's not on the same page that we saw back to that game and the form in that period of the season. How can you recapture that? What maybe has gone wrong? Is it the changing in players, people being out for Olympics, international? What kind of has happened where you've seen that regression and players don't seem to be knowing where to go or be on the same page?
Yeah. I don't want to talk now about the reasons with the national team and all these kinds, and for sure, and this is a new situation for us now with this young team now to handle it. And it seems like our last win was against Cincinnati, this home game against Cincinnati before Leagues Cup. Then the Leagues Cup starts, but for sure, when you only see now the results, then you see clear the results. Okay, too many draws. Then also today. To lose this game, then you lost in Chicago, home game against Philadelphia, and we missed the points. In the whole situation, we missed more the points in our draws, which we played too much. This is now when you see the big picture now, then these points you missed, and today was a bad day for all of us with our mistakes.
And we'll finish up with Matteo.
Thank you, Coach. Last week against Atlanta, you talked a lot about mentality of the team, especially coming from behind and able to equalize the game late in the game. I'm just curious, what was the mentality for tonight's match, and then especially not the result you wanted? What was the team's mentality tonight?
Yeah, the mentality didn't change after this game. To be honest, to the last weekend, and it's not the topic of mentality today. for me, because after 2-0, so we tried, we scored, so then you concede directly the third goal, so and then the fourth goal was also not good enough in our box defending. But I can't say, and I don't say that we don't show the right mentality or something. That's too easy for me. That's too easy also in this game, because this is tough. Supporters, big game, derby, and when you then concede directly the second goal and then especially the third goal. And for me also in the second half, the guys, our team, they tried to score then also maybe to make this 4-2. And for me, it's not the mentality in the game. For me, it's more to handle the situation now, the pressure. So I agree about the pressure, how we feel in some moments now before the game, maybe big games like this. And this is what we have to handle and what we have to develop and also for our next step.